I think
We did it.
Now we have
Wim-
quorum.
Wim
All right,
has
hello,
hit.
everybody. It is.
Wim has hit. Sorry. Go ahead, John. Sorry, I was excited.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, it's release day. So last night, Wim, tell us the story here.
He just hit hat-trick goals within 5 minutes, I guess.
See, we are the last C. The way I was thinking after we made it, I was thinking actually we at the final of the World Cup, it was my thing, and we had 2 extra weeks, right? We had to play last week against Montana and then this week, and we scored the last minute. We scored the freaking goal. That was the feeling that I got.
Exactly. It's like,
In the
woo!
it's penalty.
This is
the
actually better than
deserving-
Oni Summit, because Oni Summit we did it to the last minute and UPF wasn't up. So
Yes.
this is better.
Yeah. So
This is a penalty
to
shootout.
summarize for everybody who isn't following, it's working. It goes all the way through. The call is made. We can successfully do that, and so we're in good shape. We've got documentation. I recorded a demo video. Doesn't get that far because it was done before that, but it just a demo video kind of showing some things. There's a TSC meeting in less than an hour. They're supposed to vote on approval for this release. Once they vote, assuming they approve us, then we go through a release process of tagging it, and then they're preparing press releases and that sort of thing, which might take a little while. So we might be able to squeeze in some more test fixes or minor bug fixes while they're preparing their marketing materials. But I think in general, we are we're in good shape. I just submitted a PR to fix some little glitches in the scale test, the capacity change tests. And I think Dennis, is Dennis here? He's working on, I think the SMF still needs a tweak to
Yeah, so that's the thing I talked to him about. I probably would like to look at testing that, because I did the reference yesterday, and then the reconciliation loop just keeps on going. So yeah, I would like to like take a little test on that before
before we merge it. Okay.
Yeah,
That's fine. Yeah, so that's one little thing, that's one little bug that might need to be fixed, but I think generally we can say we're there. So woohoo! Celebration time.
To everybody.
So, I don't know that I have much more to say here. I'm going to clean up the board a little bit. We'll try and wrap up those things, but is there anything people want to talk about? Or shall we just get a little bit of time back and be celebrating that we're done?
Quick question.
So one, please go ahead. After you all go.
Oh, Steven's code went in for the update.
yes.
Okay, so
Well, SMF has several other fixes, but yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
and
AMF too, actually. So yeah.
yeah, because I touched on, I probably broke things.
No,
Anyway,
it was actually just that we never implemented certain configuration things that were necessary to make a call. So
Yeah.
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 But the
was not-
009 script should that be merged, or should that be
Should-
run?
I did.
Should you-
Merged
you
it, and then I pulled it over to my test environment and tried running it, and there were some,
Weird stuff.
syntactical issues and whatever, little things, as whenever you try to run things. I also refactored. I moved, so you and 08 and 09 shared some code, so I moved that to the library,
Mhm.
and then I tweaked the way we handle the units,
Yes.
so that we don't have to worry about the units at all.
Okay.
So I think that I ran the 08 script, that went through fine. The 09 script went through all the way to where it's waiting for the pod to come up, but I don't think the operator is doing that change yet. That's the thing Dennis is working on. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So I think the 8 and 9 script are actually, so 7, the one other tweak I made to 7 is that when I ran it all the way through, it failed on the ping. And then when I logged in, it worked. So I just put a little wait. I think it just takes a second for the tunnel to come up.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
so that it happened too fast. So I just put a little sleep in there. Actually, I should, yeah. So we'll start I'll start a test right now. And so yeah, I think all of those scripts are there.
Yeah,
So
dude,
awesome.
I think once all of those things pass, one thing I would like to ask is any other fixes or patches that would go in from now till say mid-July should at least run through end-to-end test
Yes.
and make sure it works. We shouldn't be randomly checking stuff in at this point.
Great.
Oh, come on, let's live dangerously.
The other
We
thing
live-
is that try and keep commits so that's only one thing, usual stuff, and be gentle, try and get commits to be smaller.
Yeah.
The challenge is, Stephen,
I-
the end-to-end will take a long time. Right?
Yeah, it will take a long time. Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
That's sort of discourage people from checking stuff in just for the heck of it. Right.
I see.
So we can work on that. Like I think we could do there's a few strategies there. Partly it takes a long time. I don't know. We'll have to think about it. If we can have some VMs part of, like, it depends on what we're fixing, So it's hard to say. If we're changing
No, if you're changing
software
the
and part of
OO scripts, then yeah, sure, right. If it's not fully working yet, then obviously yes.
Yeah, the question is, there is core things and there will be adjacent things, right? So, but yeah, it's going to be more challenging anyhow to to do changes going forward.
Because in theory, the end-to-end test should be like some sort of a gating test,
Absolutely.
automated, right?
They take too
So
long.
just
It takes an
asking people to
hour.
run it instead of having like Prowl run it or someone.
Yeah, they take an hour, so it's pretty hard to.
It's taking longer and longer. I noticed that last night too.
Yeah, exactly. It's not,
I think that's why we should make it more like a merge. When it is ready to merge, that's when that should be run. I'm sorry if
not
somebody was-
a pre-submit as opposed to a. I mean, that's kind of.
Well, I mean, pre-submit for an hour is a long time, so no,
Yeah.
probably not that. Interval test, yes. So we can see there's X number of patches that break stuff, but then right now we're releasing, so we should not be checking a lot of stuff in, hopefully.
Yeah.
We declare code freeze once Dennis stuff goes in.
Yeah, once all the test passes, we should freeze.
We should tag.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, Val, I think you had one other topic.
Yeah, 1 second. Can you hear me? Let me see. I'm unmuted. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you. Yeah, one thing I wanted to say that thanks, John, and I can take care of cleaning up the board. I can at least do that. That is one thing. And the other thing is, which is slightly more important, is the install guide. Two things there. Which I'm glad Vish is also on board on the call here. So the first thing is the GTP requirement for the Ubuntu. Probably we should mention that. That's required for the free 5GC kernel. Do you think we should just mention?
So we build that as part of the install and add it. So
I know, but for the
sure. I mean,
because for the VM that we created, it's kind of this thing. But somebody is creating their own Ubuntu VM. They would need that kernel model as well. So that's one thing.
Right, but I think we actually install it in the process, even if they bring their own VM.
Oh, are you saying that we install that the kernel
Yes.
module? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Cool.
thought I
Both
read
Fedora
that. I thought I read that yesterday when I was reviewing one of the docs that actually explicitly call out the GTP as part of the VM bring up sandbox.
Okay, thank you. And that's one thing. The second thing is about Fedora that Vish did. So we have a very generic language about the support of Ubuntu. We said that Ubuntu on multiple cloud platforms and OpenStack, etc. So obviously we have not done any of that for Fedora. And then obviously we have not tested the call on Fedora. So Vish, I know we were able to install it on Fedora, but obviously we're not done other tests that Vim could do about end-to-end call, things like that. So my question is, should we mention Fedora 34 as a supported platform for now, or wait maybe for a week or so to do some more testing and then mention them?
I mean, I would feel comfortable, like you said, if it has been tested, because I think it's only got done today, right? About a couple of hours before. So maybe we'll update the README once that's been tested. We can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that is better than actually claiming, but we have added the support and definitely to make sure all these things can be installed in Fedora 34. Oh, I mean, if I can digress just a little bit. So John, I just found something interesting on Stephen. I don't know if you guys have tried to bring up a Fedora 34 VM in GCP. I can create it, but I am unable to log into it. I'm not sure why it is happening with Fedora 34. But with 37 and 38, I can create a Fedora VM and I can log SSH into it, but not with 34. I've tried to create like 4 or 5 different VMs so far, but it doesn't seem to work.
Wow.
Anyway,
Yeah,
something
no, I've never.
to tell your cloud infrastructure team about the images being used. So, or maybe with the account, I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's crazy.
that's
I don't know what's up with that. Something must be broken there. You can find.
I'm thinking
file a
maybe
ticket.
I hope it's my account. I hope it is
Against
my
GCE
account.
team, yeah.
Yeah.
I always use Ubuntu, so sorry.
I know. From OpenStack days, right? So everybody uses Ubuntu.
Vish, did you
Yeah.
say 37 works?
No. 34. 34 is the only kernel, which is 5.17 that allows for the GPT kernel.
GTP, yeah.
Because from 35, Fedora is actually always ahead. It's got the 6.0
Is there a
kernel.
RHEL image that has that kernel?
There is a RHEL 8 image that comes with a 4.x kernel, so which can be upgraded to 5. something, and we can test with that. But it costs like a $50 special fee. I mean, in a sense, I didn't want to. I mean, we can always go there, but since Fedora is free, I wanted to use that. So that is why Fedora 34 is called out as supported at this time.
Yeah.
What about the CentOS flavors?
Which one? CentOS?
CentOS.
I haven't tested, so I don't know.
Vish, so we can test it pretty easily if it were running on GCP. If it can run on GCP, we can just, in that gcloud call, right, just change the image. I guess we still use the name Ubuntu, but I don't know that matters.
No, that's what I'm saying. I am not able to log into that. See, you should be able to SSH into the Fedora 34 image.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you are able, I know, John, you are probably doing multiple things, or Stephen. If anybody else with access can bring up a Fedora 34 VM and try to log into it, I want to make sure it is not me being blocked.
What is the
Fedora 34?
So what is the image family and image project specifically?
You need to pull up you'll see Fedora. There's Fedora and Fedora Core OS. You just need to pick up Fedora.
Okay. Yeah, I can run. I'll try running it.
Yeah, I don't want to hijack the meeting, but just wanted to bring it to your attention.
Fedora, which or doesn't matter Fedora or
yeah, it matters. Fedora 34, because Fedora 34 has got the 5.15 kernel, and that is the only one that supports the GPT kernel module.
It's cloud-based 34, basically.
Yeah,
that one.
It's
GTPG. That's the only one available.
GPT has taken over everything. It's GTPG.
GTPG, sorry, yeah. I'm sorry, it's like very late
unpronounceable.
and I'm still
ChatGPT has become everywhere, right? Omnipresent.
correct. Yeah, that's true. Sorry. And
This is GRE tunneling protocol. So yeah.
Just to ask those obvious questions, server, right? Not desktop.
Server, exactly. So that is why I actually brought up I got a bare metal. I brought up a Fedora 34 in my Red Hat lab. And that is how I tested my PR that I actually pushed. and I was able to go through that, install and everything. So
Yeah, I have Fedora 37 on VMware.
yeah, it won't work on 37 unless you
Yeah.
downgrade the kernel.
I had problem. Okay, cool.
All right. Yeah, I'll give it a try.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you.
I'm busy with it, as I say.
So one question, I think Wim, you have now there's another controller or so for handling the UE, RAN, SIM, hydration, and so on, right? So I mean, I was just going through the notes, and looks like the README, the installation guide has been kind of broken down into multiple pages and so on. So I think one should be able to follow that and still recreate all the scripts from 1 to 9, right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to do
yeah.
anything special. The only thing is that we cannot reach Google itself. So we changed the IP, but I just ran the script as is. So there is nothing special. But the UE round sim has two components, right? It has the UE and it has the G-Node B. So
Yeah. But you are able to read the DNS. Why can't you reach the?
Because we are not connected back. We are not connected back. So we're using Multus, right? So we're going Multus, then we go to the router, and then we have to connect the router back, and then we have to stitch it back to the Linux, and then that whole thing is not set up. So we could do that. At the moment, that's not what we did. But we could do that.
No, but you are able to. I saw you were able to ping 8. The DNS server. Right?
No, I just created a loopback inside of the router.
Okay. That's what I was thinking.
And I was thinking to send a note like I said Cloudflare and Google stuff like that. I actually faked it.
Oh, that's what I thought. We can read DNS. Why not able to get a URL?
No. I faked it. I just created a loopback and then I said.
So John and Wim, now with all those things all the PRs checked in, if I were to follow those, the link that I posted, the README, anybody should be able to do what you did on Ubuntu, right?
Yes, I do. Awesome. I just standard README. I just see the only thing that I do is I approve manually because it speeds up stuff, right? So that's the only thing that I do, right? But I just run regularly the script. So I don't know whether you automate it, but I do 01, 02. I do them in parallel. And
there is the end-to-end, which has got the 01, 02, and then there is this README, which is what John was saying, that for people to understand, the 01, 02 is more like advanced user thing. And this README that I shared seems to give some background for people to understand what steps they're doing.
Sure.
Yeah. All that should work. I might actually need step 9's not filled in, and
this is where the value for most of the people new to Nefio, or even some people among us here, we need to still go through this to understand. In what you're doing.
And there is way more stuff to be detailed, right? Because there's a lot of stuff going on under the cover. Yes. That if you look to the way that we do the install, I think one of the things that I was thinking is, you remember that we had some discussion and I was trying to explain, but there's so much stuff going on that it's very hard to do. So I'm thinking to build like a sequence diagram or something like that basically shows what happens, and then it triggers this, because I don't see how we can otherwise explain all of this, because you need almost a book to explain.
Correct. That's what I did. After the workshop, I created my own sequence diagram internally for me to understand. So in a sense, from your the script that we had come at that point after the Ansible, I was going through them for my own understanding to do that. So yeah, I think it's a good exercise for multiple people to contribute to what you're thinking. Yeah.
So we can publish a Nefio R1 book from Final Publishers.
Yeah. So there's tons. So one of the things I want to do along those lines is like, I have this issue to something. I want to produce. I think the way we're going to do it is producing a whole series of little snippets that people can kind of digest a little bit at a time. So I do have an issue in here.
Awesome. So that means I hope it will be under yours and Wim and some of you guys. I know the workload teams are experts. That you will be guiding it so that others can do that and actually come up to speed and actually test out the, what do you call, their understanding. That way the knowledge gets spread.
Exactly. I would love for everybody here to produce one of
Yes.
these. We can probably produce 50 of these if we want to. I put the link into the issue. I can get started. Yeah, Wim, I had the same problem. By the way, yeah, Fish, I tried launching it and it fails to log in with Fedora 34.
Oh, this is the bug that if I find, we'll get $1 million or something from Google. This is the one? You can all share it. You can all share it. I'll share it with the NFO team.
Yeah, so I totally agree. I think we, that's probably what we need to work on over the next couple of weeks to try and like basically be able to explain all of this stuff. So from my point of view, that over the next, assuming it's going to take a little while for them to put together their press releases, we have maybe a little time before most people know about this. So in the meantime, working on this documentation, and I would love if I could figure out, we have a problem, a number of our flakiness problems, I believe all stem from a concurrency management issue in Porch. So if I can, I think it's all root cause of one bug. And I think I know what it is, but that doesn't mean fixing it is easy. So if we could fix that, we would probably clean up a lot of flakiness issues where we see things like you try to copy I think Ravi and Anne maybe saw this. You try and copy the pull out a package and it gives you this weird fragment error. And then sometimes things take forever to get approved. Like I think all of these are related to this concurrency issue. So.
Yeah, I even see when I always follow the thing. So when I see in specialization, they are done, right? They write, then they go back to 0, then they wait for another schedule, then it's okay.
Exactly.
The reason,
right.
Yeah, so it's all related to the same, or it seems to be related to the same thing.
I think there may also be a thing where when the package revision resources are updated, it's tweaking the creation timestamp of the package revision, which confuses the approval controller. So that makes things take a long time sometimes too. So those are two bugs that I think in Porch that would probably clean up.
And my Porch instance, I think, was running for like 3-4 days, and then some of that for the old packages, I was not able to create a copy.
Right.
I think I created it. You said, John, and I created an issue there.
Yeah, exactly. The PDE test run through.
Yeah, I think even right now, right, if you just see it, Porch has restarted 9 times by now from this morning.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's some bugs there, right? We need to work on.
Oh, that means we have work to do. Otherwise, it would have been all done. We'd have to wind up this project. So good.
Yeah, there's plenty of work to do.
To underscore what Fish said about trying to run it end to end for people who has not been intimately involved with this. One recommendation, which I did last night and I learned it, is to go through the docs and start commenting on it, because that's what I did as a PR to clean up syntax and whatnot. And in the process, I learned a lot because I've been focusing on workload and not the package and package specialization. Right. So I would highly recommend people here who haven't been involved at the coding level to go through the docs. Because the more eyes on the docs is A, better, and B, is a learning thing.
Yeah, and definitely there's lots of gaps in the docs too. So, raising an issue of like, I don't understand what this means is super helpful. But yeah, and thank you. You made a lot of edits. That was very helpful last night.
Yeah, thanks, Anne, for finding my kind of inbred typos as well, and for going through the docs. Thanks very much.
No worries. My first job out of college was requirement traceability, so I learned how to write technical docs.
Okay, do we we have half an hour before the call? Anything else we want to discuss, or Should we just
I
celebrate?
think one thing I requested Rado to join this call now. So Rado, thanks for joining the call. So John, I wanted to just understand once we get the blessing from the TSC, so are we going to cut the release today? If so, I mean, I just want to understand from Rado what are we going to do on this one? Yeah.
I mean, I think we could, or we could wait till tomorrow. Rado, what? I don't remember what time zone Rado's in. Like it could be done tomorrow. It's not so urgent, but we do want Dennis's commit, and Steven wants to review that before we cut the release, I think.
Yeah, we have to get end-to-end all working before we can tag it.
Exactly. I think 009.sh right now won't succeed because we need that commit from Dennis. So there might be, one or two small things that need to be done.
Okay, so we are going to cut the release tomorrow then. So which is ideal since we are looking at that. So Rado, would you please explain to us what exactly you'll be going to do to cut the release?
Right. I don't know if you can hear me well. I'm in the area.
Yes.
With
Yes.
full
Thank you. I
reception.
know. I really appreciate you joining. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. We can hear you. Yeah.
All right. Cool. So yeah, well, when it comes to releasing process itself, we can go even right now. Yesterday I posted to General and to SIG Release updated wiki page on test infra, which shows the screenshots from process. This has to be done by people with right access to particular repositories. So I don't have like right access on them. But I guess if we're aiming for tomorrow, we can do like the conference call and just go through the process for every repo there and see how it goes. And yeah, that's about it. Like, I mean, whatever tagging approach we will take, one mechanism is in place. If we're gonna shoot for some other versioning scheme or naming scheme, this can be easily changed just before preparing the releases for every repository. So that's basically it.
Cool. Thank you so much, Rado. So you mentioned that you do not have some right access to the repos. So John, is it something that he can get, or is it something that you want to do?
Who doesn't have access?
I mean,
Rado just.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
the releases can be just clicked through by just the owners of every repo, right?
Yeah, that would be fine. I mean, I can either way. I can grant you access. I think. Let's see. We have some
cool.
we probably should have a release team or something that has. Yeah, R1.
Yeah, we should probably have like a release group, and then this group added to the repositories with read write.
Well, right now I'm adding you to something called the R1 admin team, which I think has those privileges. Right now that's yeah. So I don't know why Blake gets okay. So I think that has the right privileges. So let me know if you need additional one. We can create
All right.
Another team if we need to.
All right.
We do have a SIG release, but I think like that's too broad probably.
And there's yeah, that's I think that's fine. There is also this test repository I'm mentioning in Wiki if anyone just wants to just test it out for themselves. You can just play around there. And what else? Yeah, I was thinking that I will manage to incorporate also image signing and SBOM generation until we get to R1. Unfortunately, this is still in early phase, but we can sign these images not through CI but just manually and publish the public key from cosign. So that's one thing that can be done, I guess, after release. And I don't know if we have like a hard requirement or on SBOM. Like nobody mentioned it earlier on, but seems to be not only a hot topic, but it's also seems to be a requirement for at least some parts of the world, I guess. So
yeah, it would be good. I mean, I think we also probably pull images from other places.
Yeah.
Like I know we pull a Nokia image, although so those might be. See, it's sort of like we haven't done a good job of distinguishing sandbox things from things you would have if you were producing a production cluster. Like I think everything that if you were producing a production cluster, then if you want to, I think everything we pull in from other places is probably for sandbox, and the things for the production cluster is all from our hub or from like, you know, your cloud provider, right? Like, you know, for the Kubernetes images and things. So, so if we do SBOM, would that be for our demo? Would we have to do it for the whole demo environment or just for the kind of setup?
For every image we're producing. So I'm testing SIFT, which seems to be frequently used product, and yeah, I've successfully generated it for every image that we're that we're producing. So just the step of generating this through CI is still not finished, but I guess after we release, I can also push out the signatures from signing the images and the SBOM as artifacts to Docker Hub.
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
And so yeah, for the next release, this process will be automated. I don't think we need this for development builds. So just to, you know, not to strain our CI infrastructure, I guess this will be
just
made
when we do
only
the tagging, then we can do it or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Hey,
Thank you, Rob.
last thing, really, 2 quick questions. One for Radu. Is it okay if I reach out and learn more about the SBOM process? I have an interest in that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And the last question is for the whole group, and it's gonna be 2 words. R1.1. Not thinking about it.
Yes, I have lots of thoughts about that.
This was awesome.
Yeah, I think so. I think one thing we could definitely do in 1.1 is can enhance the docs. Obviously, we have a lot of good contents there, but probably the one thing in the user docs we could enhance, and in addition to that, probably the bug fixes and more testing on different environments such as Fedora and things like that.
Is it possible to get Linux Foundation to help us with the technical writing, like making it look spiffy?
Yeah,
It is possible, and actually, Timo from Nokia also has some ideas. Probably he was mentioning that just our community could have some professional writers, and then they could take the contents and they could use the right tools. And obviously, we have used the GitHub tools at this point of time, but like the bunch of writers could use the actual professional writing tools and come up with a professional documentation, just like what we do in Kubernetes, etc. I think probably I suggested to Timo that let's wait for the R1 to get over, and then probably we can do that. Probably, I think once we do that, probably that's the right time to get that conversation.
Yeah, we could definitely use help with that. I'm just looking at the volume. There's the volume of documentation we need to write, but then to try and, you know, I did a bunch of reorganizing of it, but it's still not very well organized. Like to have somebody who's professional at that, I think could help a lot too. How to organize it and how to, you know, and then like we have diagrams and they're sort of all ad hoc by different people using different, it'd be nice to have a nice consistent theme. You know, things like that would much more professional. You know, right now it's sort of like a bunch of developers. So,
But that's what we are, developers.
exactly.
Anyway, this has been really cool. I just
been-
want to say thank you for the whole team.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Really great hard work, and super excited, super proud of the team for being able to pull this off. And let's hope that we get a positive vote today, and we move forward.
Let's hope enough people actually show up on a TSC meeting.
I know.
from a TSC members. Yeah.
Ping all your company TSC reps. Make sure they show up.
Yeah,
I think the order will smell through. I think I already saw Anne post something on LinkedIn with that the ping working. So that means
Oh,
it's
really?
been.
Yeah, I
She's
did.
already-
I was
She's
so
already done the
excited.
lobbying, I guess.
Yeah, I was so excited. It was like
I echo the sentiments of the whole crew. Yeah, great job. Thank you so much, everyone.
Actually, I might miss out the TSC meeting, but good luck. I'm sure it will pass through.
All right. Thank you. Are you on the TSC?
No, I'm not on the TSC. I'm just,
Okay.
I usually attend. Yeah.
Okay. Ravi's on the TSC, I think.
Oh, Ravi, we need your vote though.
He's left, I
Who,
think. He
who
dropped
from
off.
who from Red Hat is on TSC?
None.
what?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, serious?
Was it Cal and he left? Or was it?
No, we were no. The Tal was the sub chair or the vice chair of the SIG automation. That's what he left. We didn't have a TSC representation that was done. Probably, yeah, we can probably fix it going further.
Yeah, probably. So.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Thanks, Dada, for joining the call. I know you were busy. Really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
no worries. I'm gonna join TSC as well. If you need something from me or something. So see you in a bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then we are cutting the release tomorrow, just to summarize, right, John?
I think that's the plan. Yep.
okay, cool.
Right.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Have a good one. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.